Webcams. I'm Mars Girl.
I'm Josh Knight the First.
And welcome again, CosmeticQT. Another guest appearance. Glad to see you here. I'm going to give you a little more room here. I'm going to try to anyway.
All right.
It's not very often that we have...
Yeah.
In fact, I didn't elongate the green screen today. So we're doing the best we can with limited space. And still, the webcam is not...
You didn't say what episode number it is.
Oh, it is Season 6, Episode 14.
Or episode 132, if you're counting. Oh my god. Okay,
oh, you
almost gave me a heart attack.
You were
there.
panicking.
Yes.
I thought I was the one with anxiety, not you.
We all have anxiety.
Good to see you guys. I hope we're coming in loud and clear. I think we are. If not, please let me know. I can make adjustments if necessary.
Guys can... Tonight...
Don't do
all right,
that.
all right.
Don't do that.
I don't want to be a jerk.
So, what exactly is going on?
We're patriotic, I noticed.
We're kind of...
We are. I'm not sure
that was not on purpose.
I'm not sure
That was
how well
not
Peggy fits into that.
It's just more of the same. That's how
very,
that
very
works.
true. So we've got good show tonight. I'm sure there's other stuff going on though. What has been going on? With
next week...
Kat, you're about to knock over my soda.
Yeah,
she's starting to try to get back into the show again.
I'm sorry.
I think unofficially Siren thinks she's the third person on the show, and I don't know. She likes to be.
Well, you think she might be threatened by another
I think she's
third
just threatened by
party
another
here?
human in the house. That's really what it
I'm
comes
down
to.
here, meow. Don't forget about me, meow.
No, we can't forget about her because she's constantly just. Yeah.
Yeah. No, really, what else is going on?
Next week, though, we will not be at our regular time of Thursday night right here on this channel at 9 Central because, like we've told you guys before, we will be out, like many of you, to see Civil War with everybody else.
Right, exactly. I'm hoping that there's other stuff in Civil War that we did not see, that we will see come next week.
Because I don't know if we mentioned it in the spoiler-free video, but there's word out that there's more than one cut scene at the end of the the movie. But we only saw one. Mm-hmm. So we're all under the assumption here that when we go to see it with everybody else, the other cutscenes will be placed in, and so we'll get to see something we didn't get to see.
I hope that that's true.
3 weeks ago.
And also, I also heard that it's going to be like cleaner, like cleaned up more than it already was.
That's also a possibility too.
Like for instance, supposedly, Pepper was there for reshoots, and so we might see like more scenes with Pepper.
But we don't know yet.
Like,
we'll find out when everybody else.
That's strictly
does.
off the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll see what else. Anything else going on before we dive into topics and jump?
You got something this week that you're pretty proud of.
Well, kinda, yeah, because I'm planning on using this for and like nobody friggin' knows what this show is, but in 2014. Marvel partnered with what station was it on? TV Tokyo, I want to say.
Yeah.
To animate Marvel Disc Wars: The Avengers, a 52 episode series where kids got these discs that they threw on the ground to summon different Avengers partners, specifically
Digimon Avengers.
Yeah, kind of. Specifically, you've got a group.
It's almost like Digimon, okay?
Yeah.
Back up.
So you specifically got a group of Iron Man, Captain America, Hulk, Thor, and Wasp.
Right.
And
with assists from Spider-Man.
So they put these discs on this thing, the BioBand. And they made this one, and because the series died or something, because it just seems like they made all these toys and there was no support for it, and so now this was $12, very, very cheap when it was originally a $40 product.
Yeah, so that's a good savings.
Yeah, so
and mind you bought that new, not resale.
Yeah, it was still in package and everything, and it's kind of interesting. I don't know how well you can hear it. There's some rattling going on in there. There's a tiny ball bearing in here, and what happens is you start to collect points. See, I've got it lit up for a second here. I've got 554 points. At 777 points, I'm going to unlock another character. Right now, I only have Iron Man and Thor unlocked. And then when I go into... Hi, Cat. When I go into time mode, then the different superheroes are supposed to show up and tell me what time it is. And right now, I only have 2 of them. Right now, 3 o'clock is Thor o'clock. And 7 o'clock is Iron Man o'clock. So there's
it's 2 hours past Iron Man.
It's 2 hours past Iron Man right now.
Okay, got it.
And there's a total of 12 of them. So we'll see which other ones I get. I know
so essentially
Spider-Man's
you can get one character per hour.
Exactly. That's what I'm hoping
is
going to
Spider-Man o'clock.
Yeah, Spider-Man's in here somewhere. I just don't know what time he is or at what points I get him.
Well, if it's character accurate, whatever time it is, he's late.
He is, yeah, he's late.
Yeah. So once it's Spider-Man o'clock, you are late for work.
Yes.
You have that.
Alright. He does kind of work. Well,
Well,
eventually he gets jobs.
Kind of. Well, he can't exactly work from home. I mean, you could. Well, he is freelance, so that freelance isn't exactly the same thing as work from home. You can be freelance and not work from home.
I'm freelance and work from home.
I was talking about her, not Spidey.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying there's a slight. Well, it gets great. You know what? I don't want to get into it. Let's
whatever.
talk about the show.
Yeah. So what is our first story for the evening?
The new Death Note trailer.
Yeah. So there's a new Death Note trailer.
When is that gonna end?
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah,
yes.
First story of the evening is in relation to a new Death Note trailer that, of course, we've talked about it before, but we can talk about it a little more.
Yes.
It's a short trailer, has a couple of new scenes in it, and it'll be good to talk to you guys about.
Yes, between the three of us providing commentary. Our second story of the evening is something that's been going around a lot this week. So there's been more confirmation on Nintendo's upcoming new console entitled the NX for right now. And we didn't have enough to mention it in the tweet, enough characters, but we're also going to talk about how that relates to this next upcoming Legend of Zelda game and the delay that has to do with that and how that's going to play out in the long term and whether or not that's a good idea.
And then finally, The Killing Joke has gotten a brand new trailer also.
An official trailer, yes.
The new animated movie being developed by Warner Brothers and DC Animation and based on The Killing Joke comic, graphic novel, what have you, and we'll be talking over it and seeing people's opinions on it. Somewhere back there I've got that comic. I'm back on a table.
By the way, for anyone that hasn't heard, I got the latest Instagram update. Apparently, Chadwick Boseman, yes, Black Panther himself, is now on Instagram.
Well, good. He's a little late to the game. He needs
So
to
is
be
Chris
there.
Hemsworth. He only got one last year.
I barely got one, 2 months ago?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I made you do that.
A little bit. Usually when I join any new social media thing, someone else prompted me to do it.
Really, Twitter, I felt like for a long time, like if I can just put photos on Twitter, why do I need Instagram? And so I feel, but some people only use Instagram.
Yeah.
So that I feel was my only motivating factor for me to post onto Instagram.
But with that having been said, that'll lead into my favorite section, the follow-ups.
All right.
Yes.
What are we doing?
Not quite Justice League, just
Why?
get it up there.
Why?
Aren't they out of news by now?
There's still little blurbs that come up here and there, so...
Is it Crest 3D White? This advertisement?
No, that's just an
on our screen
advertisement.
right now?
The advertisement is saving me the horror of looking at a picture of the movie.
Okay.
No, so the official thing is now, worldwide,
Are you
their
trying
box...
to brush the taste of the movie out of your mouth?
Yes, that's exactly
a good
what
way
it
of
is.
putting it, yeah.
Officially now, worldwide, the box office total for Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice has gone up officially to 850 million. They are still not at
Is that
$1 billion.
a good number?
It's a good number, but the time it's taken them to get there isn't.
Okay.
They're
I understand
They're
that.
struggling to hit that billion. Warner Brothers so wants to hit that mark, but it's starting to look very doubtful whether or not they will actually make that. And even if they do make good on the whole, well, we're going to release the R version in theaters instead of putting it on Blu-ray.
Yeah, what's up with that? They're talking about that, right? It's going to be a 3-hour long version.
Yes,
of the movie?
that's the other correlation to that. That apparently,
They're noticed that the R rating worked for Deadpool, so they're cashing in on it.
basically,
Right?
yeah, that's been the opinion for most people for this. The thing about it is, I like the way that At Midnight put it there on their Twitter. That will be great news for the movie if that means there are 2 hours and 45 minutes worth of new footage.
Yeah, I
share that sentiment 100%. Yes. Okay, so get rid of that. I don't want to talk about that.
Okay, fine.
All right, let's talk about Marvel stuff now, because there's a lot of Marvel news this week.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the...
That's my jam.
yeah, the shirt's kind of a giveaway.
Hello.
Okay, so the first thing we got to talk about here is there's no more Inhumans movie, apparently. They have been taken off the docket
So sad.
for Marvel's release. I don't think it's that surprising.
Yeah, I mean, after all, well, I actually have a backstory to that.
Okay, what do you got?
See, like, originally, the guys they had on board to help create the movies, they were like, okay, let's get back at Fox for having their X-Men.
Mm-hmm.
I want something X-Men that will also pull people away from Fox. Let's do Inhumans.
Yes.
Guy left. Like, okay, we don't want that competition after all. We got enough drama going on. We don't need to create more. Drop it completely. Drop Inhumans. and that's why it's no longer on the roster.
That makes sense.
They're trying to lessen the tension between them and Fox because, believe it or not, they actually do want to talk to Fox about maybe borrowing a couple characters.
Yeah, that would make sense. Smart.
That would make sense in the long run.
And so they think it would be best not to create any tension, especially intentionally.
Yeah.
Well, no, that makes more sense for them. That's the wiser move business-wise in the long run. Take the high road there.
Yes.
Because if you want to do that, have a down in the dirt war. Oh, here's our version of Fantastic Four. Well, here's our answer to that. No, you don't want to get caught up in that. That's petty.
That is kind of it's kind of smart for them to decide to drop it in that scenario, I suppose.
All right, so moving on to some other Marvel Cinematic news. Robert Downey Jr. is changing his tune now. He said before that after all these other movies, Infinity War, what have you, he might not want to do another Iron Man movie. It wasn't in the cards. Now he's saying, I could do a fourth. Yeah, I could do it.
Which is funny because he's actually quoted in an article to say, yes, I know there's not going to be any more Iron Man movies, and that's why I'm counting Civil War as my Iron Man 4.
Yeah, but now
said that before.
He has said that, but now it's like, no, I can do a fourth. It's kind of the thing when you're having a really good meal and you're like, oh man, I can't do this anymore. And then somebody brings out that one piece of cake, the one you were eyeing all night, like, hey, nobody else is eating. You want this? I might have some room.
This is gonna tie into one of our main stories a little bit later. But same with Mark Hamill playing the Joker all the time. He's like, I'm not gonna do another one. I'm not gonna do it.
Hey, Mark, here's Killing Joke. Yeah, I got some room.
Yeah,
that's the way that works.
Also, Chris Evans is even getting on board with that.
Yeah,
he's saying, nah, I don't want to stop being Captain America. I actually like this.
It could be a little addictive.
I guess it's probably grown on him because I remember he was not really thrilled with the superhero thing. It was just that it paid the bills.
Well, yeah, and I totally get it though. I get it though because the reason he was initially citing is I like doing slower movies, not so big ones, some indie stuff like Snowpiercer. Yeah. While it was very action heavy, it's a lot more dramatic. Not to say that Civil War's not going to be dramatic, of course it is, but I get it. You want to do something on a smaller scale,
right?
Whereas Civil War is a very large scale, and then even larger with Infinity War coming. But I get that. But if he wants to do it, I doubt that Marvel will turn him down.
Right.
All right, so moving on to some Guardians of the Galaxy news. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 is filming right now, and apparently there's an Easter egg that has been very widely publicized now. So there's footage of this town, they don't say where, just somewhere in America, for the movie, being destroyed by something that will eventually be filled in with CG. In that town is a theater with a picture of Nathan Fillion on a movie poster, and Nathan Fillion is apparently playing the character of Wonder Man. Now, he's not actually Wonder Man. He's Simon Williams, the actor who eventually becomes Wonder Man, but it's the fact that you have a face to a name there in the movie, and people are wondering, okay, is that just a glorified Easter egg, or are we actually going to see Wonder Man in a Guardians movie?
Yeah, because they did the same thing with Adam Warlock. They put Adam Warlock's cocoon in two shots.
In the first one,
but then later on the Reddit said, oh, I didn't know that had any meaning to it. I was just flipping through a comic and was trying to fill the room.
Yeah, see, I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, I'm not sure about it
Marvel's pretty smart about their Easter eggs, so I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's playing dumb.
I could see that, easily. Playing dumb there. Okay, so moving on to Doctor Strange now. Of course, a lot of somewhat negative buzz has come out over Tilda Swinton playing the role of the Ancient One in the Doctor Strange movie coming out later this year. Most people being upset that the character in the comic books is originally of Asian descent and male. What they're saying now for the movie is that, well, the character was never meant to be that. You know how we do here in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We adjust things to tell a better story. So our version was never... It's just a title, It's just passed on from person to person. So our version is a Celtic-based woman.
So is that... are we cool with that? Or is that just them creating a new excuse in order to whitewash this character?
I think if they'd done that, then they had that planned, because that seems like they're done filming.
Oh,
if they were gonna fix that, just now because of backlash, then we would know later on down the road when they shoot.
No, that's not what I mean. I mean is what I mean is they always intended to whitewash this character.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh,
basically, well, then they're just covering their own tracks.
Yeah,
they're saying no, it's just a title.
Yeah, they're kind of backpedaling. And
okay, I see what you're saying.
Trying to make their decision sound nicer than it actually is.
Then perhaps, I can see how somebody would take it that way. Oops. Well, maybe that's what they'll say. Oops, oops, it slipped. We meant for it to be her the whole time. Okay, so moving on to not quite from Marvel itself news, but talking about Fox. So there's a new X-Men Apocalypse trailer out now, showing more of the team going up against Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen. The interesting thing about the trailer is the last second, we thought he wasn't going to show up in the movie, but here he is again, Wolverine,
because
in this
totally
movie.
Needed this again, and it's still huge assman.
Far as we know. Because it's there. We see...
still looks like his exact beefy arm, if you ask me.
Because it's, Jean and Scott there, and they're talking to Mystique, like, how'd you get out? Oh, we had some help. And then you just see the snicked, the claws extend, and... Well, you can't mistake that. Ooh, I wonder who that is. The Blob? No, it's Wolverine. Like, there's no mistaking that.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same way. I bet you anything they cut that to mimic the way Spider-Man was included in that last Civil War trailer, where he's just the last thing you see.
Yeah.
And people thinking, like, he's in this movie? That way it'll build up people to get in there.
Yeah, I can understand that.
So that makes sense.
Okay. Beast giving away free tickets at Red Robin.
Yeah, that's true.
That's a thing that's going on. It's what, $25 gift
if
card?
If you buy a $25 gift card, 24 hours later, you can buy yourself a ticket to the X-Men.
Yeah, I just
Thank you, walking advertisement.
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to something that makes me angry here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So, we, of course, last week talked to you guys about the Power Rangers reboot. Rita, not even Rita. Mm-hmm. Well, apparently now it's been revealed from set pictures that she has a secondary costume in the movie, which we have a picture of here. I don't know if you guys can see that really well.
I can bigify it in a second. But,
yeah, but...
I'm too tall.
No, that's not the problem. That's not the problem.
I'm gonna put it on over all of us. Okay. So here we go.
Okay, so here you see her with her staff. Okay, great. She has a staff. She's not green anymore. That helps. But what is she wearing?
And
she walked off a runway, is what she did. Is
that's
she barefoot?
She's barefoot.
What the heck?
I don't even know. Like, and the other thing too, CosmeticQT, you and I were talking about this before the show.
She's too quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes. I can't tell if y'all can see this.
No.
But in my opinion, she's too quote unquote sexy to be Rita.
This pushes the sexy factor. Yeah, because you were saying, she looks like she came off a runway. I don't know what they're going for.
I'm gonna try and minimize.
Because you were making the argument last week. Oh, maybe this isn't the only costume she has in the movie. It'll be better.
I wasn't saying that on camera, but I was saying that between and me.
Us, yeah.
I was like, what if that green costume is like she's got this fight between herself and Zordon? Like that's a thing that in canon happened.
Yeah, she fought with Zordon.
And I was like, well, what if that's like she screws him up, and so he ends up in the cosmic tube, and then she's messed up, and so she has to wear something else. And you were like, oh, that sounds, like that. If that's a thing that happens.
If it was like the RoboCop reboot where he ends up in the right colors at the end of the movie, then fine. I could almost forgive that. But this isn't much better.
No.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, I'm taking this away now.
Yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah, my eyes hurt. It's not because of my eyeliner for once.
Okay, so moving on to some other news. Rogue One news. Okay, so Mads Mikkelsen, who is playing a mysterious character in the movie, has revealed who he's playing.
Okay.
Not by name, but at least relation-wise. So Felicity Jones's character, Jane Erso, her character is strong-willed. She's there trying to help the rebellion. Mads Mikkelsen is playing her father, who more than likely works for the Empire. He won't say that part, but everybody's pretty much guessed it.
Okay.
So at least there's a direct relation, father-daughter.
Okay.
So we have that to confirm. More on that as it comes up. Of course, May the 4th is next week, so we're hoping...
some other trailer or something drops,
before we do the show next week, so here's hoping. Keep your eyes peeled on that. Okay.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. So over to the BBC across the pond. So this weekend, the BBC confirmed the next Doctor Who companion, and that's going to be Pearl Mackie playing the role of Bill. We have a picture here
somewhere
of her for
it's
you.
right here.
Yes, of course she is absolutely thrilled to be joining the cast. Of course, it doesn't really matter because we still have to wait until 2017 to see any new Doctor Who. Thanks a lot, Moffat.
So for one thing, I don't watch much Doctor Who, but at the same time, I was kind of hoping that could we go back to a male companion? No, okay, I guess we're still waiting.
Well, I would.
I didn't dislike what I saw of her. I just nice to have another male companion one day.
It'd be nice if they knew how to write male companions.
That's
Let's
true.
put it that way.
That's true.
Okay, moving on to some other news.
Doctor Who's meant for girls. They make a male companion. We got.
At this point, you start to wonder who it's aimed for. Well, sometimes I think it's aimed at girls, and then other times Moffat's like, "How about I write girls and women in a completely horrible fashion?"
Which he is known to do.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on to some other news. Not many people know about this, but we thought it was important enough to bring up. So there's a series called The Hero Yoshihiko, which is an official send-up of the JRPG known as Dragon Quest. 2 seasons had already come out, and it was just confirmed this week that they have a 3rd season coming out, which is amazing. If you have not seen this show, go look it up. It's 2 seasons worth, just 12 episodes each. You can get through it in like 2 days or something like that if you really want to. It's hilarious. It pokes fun at all the tropes. It uses official monsters. It's known for being very low budget in the way they depict things.
The director specifically has pointed out that he took influence from Monty Python and the Holy Grail. So you actually see jokes completely lifted from Monty Python and the Holy Grail and just done in Japanese.
Yes.
A very, very good parody. If you've ever played any JRPG ever of any variety, you'll get the jokes.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's the same director as the guy who made the movie Hentai Kamen, for example.
Yes.
That's probably the thing that, in North America, he's best known for.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's done all kinds of other TV shows that I really, really like.
Yes.
But that's what we would best know him for.
Okay. Moving on to some tokusatsu news. So, we have our first look at the next Ultraman. His official name, Ultraman Orb. This new Ultraman has a weird sort of power here. He's
I have no idea where I got that picture, just so I know.
Okay. Just to describe his power, he apparently combines the powers of previous Ultramen at the same time. So in a way, he's kind of like Kamen Rider double. He combines 2 powers at the same time. He uses this weird sort of... It looks like a tambourine, is what we're really calling it, to transform. But there he is here. We'll have more information on that. There's scans out right now, but we'd like to come back to you once a trailer is out. That way we can give you a full picture of this new hero. Mm-hmm. Then in other tokusatsu news, Kamen Rider the First and Kamen Rider the Next have been confirmed for August 3rd release on Blu-ray. These, of course, being the retellings of the original series and Kamen Rider V3. One being okay, and the other one being, with good action scenes.
But it looked really pretty.
And one features Kato Kazuki, so...
Yes.
That's what got my attention. That's why I thought I had to push that forward.
That's understandable. But that comes out right around my birthday, and I'm like, I already have the official copy of Kamen Rider the First, which is now out of print.
These are not going to have subtitles, so...
No, but you don't really need them. You really don't. And
Some people do.
Some people do. But not for the next. You really don't need them for the next.
Not really. Not unless you like actually reading lyrics to the music.
Yeah, but that's passable. And the last bit is actually something that we considered making a full story, but we're at least going to spend some time talking about it here, which is the latest developments in the Where's the Fair Use fight.
Right, so apparently there's been a whole bunch of signatures that have gone forth to Congress, trying to get them to understand how copyright on YouTube specifically has been very, very broken and has been very abused. There have been some relatively good developments under YouTube and how copyright flags are being handled. So one thing that people were begging for, and now actually apparently exists, is, let's take for example Universal, right? And NBC Universal has flagged several of my videos before in the past, right? So anytime that somebody copyright claims a video of yours, they start receiving the monetization that rightfully belongs to you, and they can hold on to that for like 30 days if they so choose, while you combat them and say, no, I was in fair use of this and I should be earning the money. And, they can wait the full 30 days and just let time run out and be like, oh, you were right, this was yours the whole time. But then they used to be able to keep all of that money that they kind of leached off of you. Well, now, apparently, that is, in fact, being held in some separate place.
Kind of a trust.
Yeah, away from both parties, away from the content creator and away from, in this example, NBC Universal. And once it's determined who is in the right, then that's where that money goes.
So, in other words, no more straight up stealing.
Basically, yes.
Good.
People are complaining that, money that was taken in the past, we're still never going to see that money.
Yeah.
And,
but I mean, at least something is getting done.
At least something that's
part.
a good first step. It's not a perfect system yet, but it's significantly better than it was before. There's still abuse of the YouTube copyright claiming system. There's still people who are using it to silence critics and stuff like that. It's happened to me before. But I think it's going to get better with time so long as people keep being vocal about it.
Yes, which is very important. So if you guys ever see something, say something.
Yeah.
As far as this is concerned, because it's important, and it
the key
revolves
to solving
around...
a problem is to find the solution and then push it forward.
Yes, and pushing this solution forward is all of our jobs. So, yeah, you need to keep up with that.
All right, we're on that.
All right.
What's our first note? Our first note?
First Death Note.
First story is Death Note, right?
Yes.
Okay, well, trailer in progress.
Yes, this, of course, we have a title now for this movie, Death Note, Light Up the New World. Now, as we've told you guys, we've reported on this before, you can kind of see it here in the trailer. This is what they're officially calling a forbidden sequel. That's oxymoronic on purpose, I think.
Yeah.
Taking place after the events of the Death Note movies. This, of course, being L Change the World and the first two Death Note movies. Here in this new trailer, we see the actions of new people with the Death Notes. And now, of course, we see the re-inclusion of Ryuk, the Shinigami or Death God from the original series. And now we're trying to figure out, okay, so the story then is that somebody wants to keep up where Kira, or Killer, or however you want to translate the name, left off, wanting to take up that work, and much the same, somebody wants to take up the noble cause of trying to find this person and bring them to justice. So how's that going to play out? Especially when, much like the original series, there's more than one Death Note in play. The series saying there's, or not the series, the movie saying they're going to play up the fact that there are multiple Death Notes out in the world, and they will come to play here in the movie. Currently, we can only see maybe one or two being used. Yeah,
we see some lady in the middle of Tokyo saying something to the effect of, "I'll show you something interesting." And then, of course, Ryuk is really excited. He thinks that something is interesting, too.
Well, because the thing about it, in every version of the story, is Ryuk is the definition of chaotic neutral.
Yeah.
He doesn't care who's got it. He doesn't care what they do with it. He just thinks it's going to be really fun to watch what they do with it. And then at the end, if he happens to capitalize on it, so what? That's just how it works. The thing about it is, this one being a forbidden sequel so many years later after the last movie, L Changed the World, I'm wondering, it's gonna sell over there in Japan, and, like the other movies, they got brought over here. They did, in fact, bring all of them over here, but
had brief theatrical runs.
Some had brief theatrical runs. They are available on DVD. I'm wondering if they're gonna do the same with this one.
I wonder if anybody's going to care over here, because it's not...
The fandom kind of has died out.
Yeah, I would kind of agree with that, especially in North America. Maybe not so much in Japan, but I think it has a little bit in North America. So are they going to care, especially if it's not based on either the anime or the manga's series of events?
Well, either way, one, they're keeping up with the movie timeline, so anything that happened in those movies is canon, because notably, the second movie... breaks away from the manga and anime storyline significantly.
Well, right.
See, that's kind of the problem from what from someone that absorbs people, not in a creepy way, but I mean I just
yeah, we all do it. We all do it.
The ebb and flow of fandoms, I guess I should say.
Yeah.
Most of the the fandoms that are still in the fans that are still a fan of Death Note don't know the movies.
Well, some or
just started watching them, and so therefore the sequel probably won't interest them.
There is that possibility, because I guess for Japan it's not a roll of the dice. The series is still very big over there, whereas over here, yeah, like you say, it dies off, and then every so often, every 2-3 years, it shows back up on a news story. New at 6 o'clock, a kid was arrested at school for having one of these books in his desk. And it's oh, not this again.
There's still these parents out there who do, we're still doing this 10 years later?
Yeah, we're still doing this. That was funny back in 2005, when the manga barely came out over here. And then once the movies came out over here and the series was shown over here, what more do you got? What more can you report on this? It's the same story over and over again. It's a slow news day when we have to resort to that on the news. But the thing about it is, it's going to be interesting to see how they play this out. If Ryuk is the only death god they're going to show in this movie, what more can we expect out of it that we haven't already seen?
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking.
I legit don't know. I legit don't know where they can take it. I was only so into Death Note. I didn't hate it. It didn't grasp my attention nearly as much. I don't see it. They never went in a direction where multiple Death Notes were out in play before, did they?
Well, not any more than Light and Misa's Death Notes.
Yeah. So
that's kind of the problem. They didn't go beyond those two. So how the heck do they rope you said the successors?
Successors, yes.
So the descendants, how do they rope them into that?
Well, it's funny because you could say the word descendants because the official, synopsis of this says people who inherited Light's DNA and L's DNA.
What does that mean? Inherited their DNA?
No, but they're dead. Like, I'm not... Yeah, spoiler. They die in the movies, both of them. I mean, they die.
Oh, no, you gave away a 3-year-old plot.
Oh, it's a little longer than that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like 10
you know
years old.
It's definitely old.
So, like, when they say that, I guess they mean, like, more spiritually. Like, oh, I feel the spirit of justice in one direction or the other, where it's kill all these people.
I'm going to take it literally.
You're going to take it literally?
I'm going to take it literally and say that there is some other really bizarre series of events that have caused them to be genetically similar to Light and
L.
Yeah.
The kid looks pretty much like L. You have to admit.
Well, no, the kid's not L. Here,
that shows flashback.
Yeah, that's Light. That's okay. L. And then the kid you see here in white, he's actually the one taking after Light. And that's Masaki Suda, who a lot of our Toku fans in the audience know as Philip from Kamen Rider Double. Mm-hmm. He's the killer in this movie. And of course, ever since that series, Masaki Suda...
He's Kira in this movie.
He's basically the Kira counterpart in this movie, and he's gotten quite a bit of work since that series. He's been doing movie after drama after movie after movie. Like, he's got, 3 other projects lined up after this. Mm-hmm. So I'm surprised they got this out as quick as they did. Which is something to be said about, Japanese films. Like, they churn stuff out a little faster than we think they do.
Yeah, I would, but what do you mean than we think they do?
The amount of time in production is less than one would assume.
Uh-huh.
That's what I mean. But of course, we'll have this to look forward to. It comes out over there in Japan, October 29th. Makes sense, right around Halloween. Halloween's getting bigger over there for them.
Slowly but surely, yeah, it is getting bigger for them.
So we'll have to see whether or not it's any good. I imagine once some form of it appears somewhere on a place that's like an interconnected series of tubes with computers between them, we'll get to find out how this really pans out. But for now, we've got this. Alright, get out of here.
Yeah, we're done with that.
Awkward moment done.
What's our next one?
Nintendo.
Somewhere I've got some kind of Nintendo picture. I can't tell where I put...
Are you gonna need glasses?
I can't see from this far back. That's my nose. What are you...
This is terrible.
I also legit don't know where my Nintendo picture is, even though I dragged in it. Is it this? Nope.
No, that's Rita.
That is definitely not Nintendo.
Rita over me, lovely.
Oh, that's it right there. That's the Nintendo.
There you go. Okay. Love our professionalism.
Could you see where it said Nintendo, Josh?
No.
I'm not the one in charge of this.
It's because you're making fun of me needing glasses, and you wear glasses.
You are wearing glasses, and I'm legally blind.
But we talked about this. I need a new prescription.
And I'm legally blind. What's your point?
But you're wearing contacts.
So what?
You gave away the secret.
Oh, darn. Okay, so moving on to Nintendo.
So, yeah, apparently, the NX, that's a thing. I mean, we knew that the NX was a thing, and I feel like, for the majority of this, Nintendo has not given away a whole heck of a lot of brand new news. They just confirmed things that we knew for certain was it was rumored that they were gonna be a thing. It's okay, I promise.
I'm sorry.
But now, and it's so weird how they, nothing else was going on, and they just announced, yep, we're releasing the NX in March of 2017.
So less than a year from now.
Yeah, less than a year from now. And what's so weird is that they make this official announcement, right? But they don't announce it at the same time as showing the hardware. it just seems kind of weird that they're like, yeah, this is a thing, guys. All right, bye. And they just kind of leave it at that. And this is not based on previous hardware, so it's not like Wii, which became Wii U, where you have the same technology, but you also add
it's a completely new concept they built from the ground up. We'll find out more about it later this year, but for now, they're just giving us that, release date, will be over here. And I'm like, that's it? Well, no, that's not all.
It's not entirely it. That's basically everything there is to know about the NX right now, which is almost everything we kind of already knew. But then there's information also in regards to the latest Legend of Zelda game, which we knew was going to exist already. However, this with the announcement of the release of the NX, they're also announcing that this newest Legend of Zelda game is now delayed into 2017 to kind of coordinate with the release of this new console. But not only is it releasing on this new console, it will also release for the Wii U at the same time. Now remember, Nintendo has done this before. They did this with Twilight Princess, which you could get at the time either the GameCube version or the Wii version, which was kind of interesting because Link traditionally is a left-handed hero,
He's a southpaw.
but because you've got the Wii controller and the majority of people in the world are right-handed, right? Like, that's a thing.
Only 10% of the population is left-handed.
Yeah. So for the Wii version, they completely inverted the entirety of the game, and suddenly for the Wii version, Link is right-handed, which didn't really make much sense. So I'm just wondering if there's going to be any funny quirks to this new Legend of Zelda game, because they're trying to release it on two wildly different kinds of consoles. And we don't know how this new console is going to function.
Because see, here's the thing I'm trying to figure out. Because they say the words NX support. So what does that mean? Does it mean the same discs will work? Like the same disc will work in both systems?
Like backwards compatibility?
Or is it that I will have to buy the NX version of Legend of Zelda and the Wii U version of Legend of Zelda?
Oh, that is what I think is going to happen. There's going to be two completely separate versions. In fact, what does that article say, Josh? What does the article say? What do you mean you don't know how you feel? That it's what happened. It's what happened with that with Twilight Princess.
Well, no, but I'm saying like, even with Twilight Princess, I kind of think this like, if the game is more based around the concept of this newer system with better stats, better everything, the only reason I'm getting it, anybody would get it for the previous system, is because they just don't have the new one yet. Mm-hmm. But even then, you're subscribing to the idea of I'm getting an inferior copy of the game.
It's possibly true for graphics. I need to know how the NX is going to function, because similarly, between the GameCube and the Wii, you're playing the game on a GameCube controller like this. You're playing the Wii version like this, or you draw back your
it should also be noted that because there are two different systems, naturally one is more the chase one. And everyone seems to be less willing to let go of it if they have it, or are more greedy to get it, the Xbox version. Everyone wants the Xbox version. But, like, if it's like, well, here it is for the Wii U, it's like, no, I want the other version.
Well,
Everyone
see, the thing about it being Nintendo, though, like, yeah, there's something to a loyalty to what you already have. Mm-hmm. Really, the hungry people are going to go for the NX version. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, I have to have the next thing. I have to have it for the system with the best quality, the best graphics, the best whatever. But
basically all the Tony Stark type personalities.
Right, exactly.
Right, I have to have it now, and I have to have it right when it comes out. Those people, of course, they are banking on that.
But I'm also banking on the fact that these two games in some way are going to function differently for one another. So in fact, if you want the full experience, you buy both versions and you play them in two completely separate ways.
See, I ain't balling like that, so I'm not going to do that. I will wait.
Somebody will do that.
No, I absolutely know somebody's going to do that. We know some friends of ours that will probably do that just to have the comparison. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I can't ball like that. That ain't. I'm not about that life.
No, I can't either. So I'm just saying this has been done before. Twilight Princess functioned completely differently on these two separate consoles. I would not be surprised if Nintendo did that again. And there's still people to this day who argue, the Wii version was superior, the GameCube version was superior, despite the fact that, they had to flip the whole game, as if this were old school days of manga, where manga got published left to right rather than right to left. All right.
Now, the thing I'm wondering about is this game has been delayed before, though.
Yes.
This is, like, what, the third delay that I'm aware of. You know, it was first 2015, late 2015, 2016, late 2016, 2017, first quarter. Like, okay, like, you guys are starting to really sound like a certain game that hasn't shown up for me by Inafune. Like, come on, let's not fall into that trap here.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think this one is going to happen. I think if they did not have it prepared for NX launch, then that would be very foolish of them.
Okay, see, that brings up my next thing, though. When it comes to having a launch, you need a launch title. Is it
and a Zelda game is a solid launch title for a
saying.
Nintendo console. There's no reason why they wouldn't finally follow through.
Because from that last video we saw, the video was promising.
Yeah.
From last, whichever, it wasn't E3, it was the Nintendo Direct that we saw the footage of this game. It looked really good. Is it possible that Nintendo made them delay it this time? Like,
yes,
not that you guys weren't ready.
Believe it.
I'm making you delay this because we need this to be a priority launch title.
Absolutely believe that. Yes, I agree.
Okay, so then in that sense, I wouldn't fault them for it. It's kind of a jerk move, but it's an understandable jerk move. Because you want to have something strong like that, and not just another Mario game.
Yeah.
Because
But you know they're gonna release another
No, there's gonna be another Mario game.
And they're gonna release a new Mario Party, because every time you release a new console, you have to release a new Mario Party. And we don't need like 20 Mario parties.
All I gotta say is, achoo! Sorry, I'm allergic to repetition.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mario
and there's nothing more repetition. You know there's going to be another Mario Party. You know there's going to be another Smash. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
that's not even a question. Not even one day. Sometime within the next 2 years, there will be a new Smash.
You think that soon?
Once the NX is announced, yes.
All right.
Because people are going to be there foaming at the mouth when the NX is announced from Nintendo. Like, okay, so when's Smash coming? When's Smash coming? Come on, I gotta play. Come on, man. What else can I do with Little Mac? Come on, man. And that'll be the thing. You know it.
Yeah.
The tourney people are there waiting, chomping at the bit to beat somebody down as Peach. Or somebody, whoever. I just picked somebody random.
Yeah, I don't know very many people who mainline Peach. I mean, I'm sure
it's
they
Star
exist.
Fox. How about that?
Mainlining
Star Fox.
Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah, Captain Falcon. That'll be a thing.
Yeah.
But we have a little bit of time to wait before Nintendo reveals what this thing is. And I don't know. Just because you have a guaranteed launch title of Zelda doesn't mean I'm going to like the system. You have to wow me with the system.
Yeah, well, we'll find out. I hope it doesn't function exactly like the Wii U, and they say it's not going to. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt because they know that their hardware sales are plummeting right now. So they've got to come... Yeah, it's bad business. Great software sales, bad hardware sales. So they got to do something about that. They've been plummeting for years.
Well, maybe this will help them, but somehow I doubt it.
Alright, I'm done with
Get
that.
out of here, okay.
So we got one more thing. What is Batman the Killing Joke, right?
Yes, Batman the Killing Joke. So we have here the first real official trailer, because there was footage out before, and really all it was all the animated portions of this interview with the people working on the movie from the extras on Justice League vs. Teen Titans cut together, and that wasn't really a trailer. This is a trailer.
Yes.
This is official out from DC Animated and Warner Brothers for this adaptation of the legendary Killing Joke storyline. A lot of people...
Legendary in a lot of ways. As of late, it has... For the longest time, people loved the hell out of the Killing Joke, and then within the last couple of years, maybe, people were like, oh, this was made just for shock value, and we need to... It's cool to hate the Killing Joke now. I still kind of appreciate it. I don't... if the stories are true about the way they talk about how they were planning on crippling Barbara Gordon, then that is not cool. However, I appreciate who Barbara Gordon became in the comics
as
after
a result.
That. As a result, after that, even if the circumstances are not that great. So, what is the Killing? Like, I don't know if we've ever talked about what exactly the Killing Joke is.
Well, the Killing Joke is basically the. Not considering recent comic book things, nobody correct me on that. I haven't read what they've been doing lately.
Especially with Barbara.
Yeah, or Joker for that matter. This was the first real delving into of the Joker's origin there in DC Comics trying to tell the story of he was this failed comedian who was down in his luck, got recruited by the Red Hood gang, set up as the patsy, and everybody knows what happened that night. Batman showed up, knocked him into the vat of chemicals, on purpose or by accident, depending on how you want to look at it, and that's how the Joker was created. And then the other part of that is, of course, the most famous crippling of Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and then the capturing of Commissioner Gordon, forcing him to look at some very grotesque, sexualized pictures while himself being denigrated, and Batman having to come in and save him, all while trying to combat this idea of who is the Joker to me? Can I finish him? Can I stop this war that seems to be just going on and on and on? Will it end?
A quote in the trailer that the Joker uses, a line directly out of the comic, is about everybody's got one bad day. And
all it takes is one
bad day, which you'll find in the comic and throughout the course of this movie, I have to assume, too, is it shows why the Joker finally snapped. It's not just that he fell in a vat of acid. There was like a big old long drawn out story until one day he really did have a really bad day. The vat of acid day. But he's hoping that by doing all of this crap that he also manages to make Batman snap and prove to him that you too can go down a dark path because we're real similar kind of people.
Well, he's a Dark Knight, so technically every path he goes down is dark.
Well, see, it's funny that you bring up the Dark Knight because part of that did pull from this. You know, Joker there, you know, Heath Ledger's Joker saying all it takes is one bad day for someone like them to become someone like us. And the way that played out in that movie was he was trying to bring Harvey Dent down to their level, whereas here he's trying to bring either Commissioner Gordon or Batman down to his level. We can all escape into madness. You know, that famous monologue that he has there.
We're all mad here, to quote my favorite cat.
Well, we're all mad here, yeah.
And the thing about it is, Joker thinks he could possibly win, if there is any winning, by trying to either get Batman to understand him or, you know, finish him off, you know, pushing him to that level, pushing him to the limits of, you know, what it is. But the whole thing that, I don't know how, the last time I had that conversation with anybody, but the whole thing of the crux of Batman is he starts out before Joker because he already had his really bad day at 8 years old.
Yeah, so Batman is already developed. His days don't get much worse than that. To actually speak of this trailer now, the animation is interesting.
A lot of people don't like it.
A lot of people. I admit, I think I will like it once I watch the whole movie. But I was kind of shocked at how, like, you watch Batman walking here.
Yeah, you see the.
It's very stilted, very anime-esque almost. Like
we're missing frames.
I feel like they have chosen this on purpose. This really stilted animation, perhaps to look that much closer to the comic that it pulls from. Because we also watched this other behind-the-scenes video a while back,
right,
where they were actually talking about how it's actually really difficult to translate the art style of the comic into an animated form, and so they kind of didn't. They chose something similar but not the same, and so I think the animation is also aiding in that.
Well, yeah, you can definitely see it very much on the Joker and Batman. Batman is very indicative of the other style they decided to go with, like, well, we can't draw him straight up like he looked in the comics, so we're going to kind of borrow this other artist style and draw him that way. But with Joker, you see it change because in some I want to say panels, but in some shots he looks one way, and then in other shots he looks very detailed, and that, of course, you can see they're blatantly pulling from panels of the comic. And I don't know that that's going to work out very well for them, because you're going to see the difference, like, okay, this one's you, this one's the comic.
Basically, it looks too pulled together because they're trying to do one style, but at the same time, they've already adapted one style in the past, and now they're suddenly going to a different style, and it doesn't, and it looks choppy.
That's gonna.
Because they're trying to combine them, and that's a no-go.
Yeah, see, if you had committed to one style, that would have been fine. If everybody looked like they were drawn by the same artist, that would have been fine. But the problem is, if Joker looks one way and Batman looks another way, it's gonna clash visually. And
it's gonna literally hurt your eyes.
It might
possibly. Yeah.
Some people are saying it hurts my eye. You know, you look on Twitter right now. People are like, "Oh, I can't stand this. It doesn't look right. This is one of my favorite stories. I don't want it, trashed like this." And I think trashed is kind of a hard word to use on this because it could still be a very good telling
Yeah, I have to admit, regardless of what you think of The Killing Joke, and regardless of what you think of this animation, I find that there's something really pleasing about, like, I even recently reread The Killing Joke back there on that table we got back there.
On our coffee table, yeah.
And, I'm...
Go get it?
Well, if you feel like it, sure, why not? Part of it is gonna disappear on the green screen, but, it's just so interesting now we hear, Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill repeating these lines that I just read, and I'm thrilled to hear it.
I kind of want to see how much of this does disappear.
Actually, shockingly, not
at all.
Yeah.
It's
well, a little bit.
Okay, a little bit.
A little bit.
Oh, yep, right there in the corner.
It's a little bit shimmery, but yeah.
Point being, yeah.
Interesting too. Once it gets to the end of the trailer where it loops, they use
their
their version of this cover art, which I think is really really cool.
Which,
we'll wait until that comes up.
Pretty famous art there. but yeah, basically to be able to hear this, because people were dreaming of this since like what 93, 94 when the animated series came out.
Right.
Because like we've said many times, and we still subscribe to that idea that those voices define those characters not just for a generation, really for everybody. There are older fans who would tune in.
Mark Hamill is absolutely my Joker. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, and I can't I appreciate other voices as Batman, but Kevin Conroy is Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's no questioning that. And then to hear them start saying these lines, oh, maybe you'll kill me, or maybe I'll kill you. And then, all it takes is one bad day.
Yeah.
Like hearing that, you're like, I imagine these people have asked them, can you read this? At comic conventions. Can
especially Mark Hamill.
Oh, he's gotten so many requests. He's gotten
a kick out of it every single time.
And like you were bringing up earlier, like he can't walk away from him.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that he never wanted to be typecasted.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Mr. I don't want to be typecast.
There's Josh Lena. Well, it was the same art.
It'll come back.
It'll
come back. But yeah, Mr. I don't want to be typecast as Luke Skywalker or the Joker. Hey, guess what you're doing in 2016? You're filming more as Luke Skywalker and you're recording more as the Joker.
That darn nostalgia.
I know, right?
At a certain point, I think he has to realize, maybe I did love this a little more than I let on. Even to myself.
Well, even then, he was saying for years specifically, if they ever do the Killing Joke, I will absolutely come back to do the Joker. But it's the funny part about that. You say come back as though you left.
Yeah.
And that's the funny part to me on that. Because really the furthest he's been away was for, Batman Arkham Origins. And even then, you got somebody to imitate you in that game.
Right. And so do you think now that because he has gotten the opportunity to do the Killing Joke, is this finally the end of it for him? Is it? I think it might be.
I'm not gonna lie, I want to believe like, okay, this is your magnum opus. This is the one you were waiting for. Mm-hmm. Like once I reel this fish in, then I'm good. I can retire my boat. But I don't know. There something else will come along and he'll be like, I've got a few minutes. And then he'll just be right back at it again.
Oh, cake. I have room suddenly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cake analogy. Yeah, because that's the thing, like, you have to understand, when it comes to digestion, alright? Like, I'm going off on a tangent here, but understand where I'm going with this. When
Careful,
it comes to...
there's a culinary student sitting, like, 2 people away from you.
I'll be gentle. Okay, point being, when it comes to that stuff, you're eating, but if you're giving yourself time in between pieces, you've got time to digest, you got time to burp, make a little bit of room there, and then when it comes time for that big piece of cake to come by, you can make that decision like, yeah, bring it over, I can finish that. You're gonna eat that? Yeah, I'm gonna eat that.
Problem is, the eyes are bigger than your stomach.
Maybe, and I don't know that that'll be the case with him, because he's come back to the role so many times now.
But at a certain point,
maybe I'm just taking it too literal.
Your age begins to do something to your voice.
Well, because we were even commenting on that
recently. I feel like I can already hear it in him.
In Arkham Knight, we heard that.
You might need to lean over soon.
Oh yeah, okay. Oh right. I'll. Okay, so it's coming up. Just let me know when I need to get out of the way. Point being, yeah, we heard a little in Arkham Knight, the scratchiness there, and that there's kind of a reason for it, but whatever, you can start to hear it. And for my money, Troy Baker's impersonation of Mark Hamill's Joker is fine. Mm-hmm. It's almost perfect. There's a reason they went back to it in that Batman Unlimited direct-to-DVD movie. Mm-hmm. It was still pretty good. Wait, was that it? No.
Almost.
Okay,
almost.
I'm still waiting.
Right
wait, there it is. Whoop. Okay, yeah.
It's basically the same
It's
thing.
basically that.
All right, we
I'm done.
But then, we talk about Mark Hamill.
Tangent. His lips almost match my lips.
It is very ruby red
It's
color.
the same kind of ruby red. We talk about Mark Hamill so much. There's still Kevin Conroy, who hasn't shown any real signs of stopping being Batman, though.
Right?
He's just chugging along, and we've got other Batmans out there.
I don't like them, though. That's the problem. Nobody's trying to mimic Kevin Conroy's Batman.
Well, I guess that's a testament then to Mark Hamill's, because his is, they say imitation is the highest form of flattery. Mm-hmm. With Mark Hamill, you've got that. But with Kevin Conroy, I know myself, I grew up mimicking his Batman voice for years until I got up to Christian Bale's voice, and then I was like, I'm going to go back to Kevin Conroy's voice.
Yeah.
Because the thing about it, that, you hear it there. There's a difference between, where is he, and where is he?
Which you can hear him say in this trailer, where is he?
Where is he? And it's... No, I totally agree with you in their Black Jacket. I love Bruce Greenwood. He's probably the closest I felt to getting close to the tone of Batman.
Right.
But, until we get another season of Young Justice, knock on wood, we're still going to deal...
There you go.
We're still going to be dealing with Kevin Conroy, which I don't have a problem with. If he's still absolutely capable of doing the role, then by all means, get at it. Go at it, keep doing it.
The cat's even watching you.
And the last thing I'll say on that is, if we could do that, DC Legends of Tomorrow, just saying, if you go into the future and you need an old Bruce, he's right there. Just put him in the jacket, give him the cane, and let him do it. I'm just saying, there's no problem there. Like we brought up before, this is going to be seen for the first time at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Not really sure what the release date is yet, but probably sometime this fall. So again,
it looks like a fall movie.
It does.
It is a fall. Well, unless they were actually going to do, hit it right on the nose, the long Halloween. But it'll be a while before they adapt that.
Yeah,
it's kind of backtracking from here.
All
right, yeah.
So I think we're gonna round out the main portion of the show. So thank you to everybody who's been watching tonight. And if you're here with us right now, please stick around for another half an hour because we're going to do Q&A time with all of us here.
A little bit longer.
Ow.
Sorry.
It's all right.
Everyone's hurting someone today.
If you're not here with us live right now, that's okay. That's fine, but you really should be with us.
You.
Next week, we're not going to be here live on Thursday. We need to figure out whether we're going to do a Wednesday or a Friday show. We're going to get back to you guys on it, but typically, if not for next week, typically we're here Thursday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time, live here on youtube.com/MarsGirl/live. And it's so much fun to hang out with all these people, us here, and people over in the chat over there. And there you go.
Over here.
Yeah, they're over on that side somewhere.
Yeah, at least they are for us over. I think if you guys are on youtube.com/MarsGirl/live, they're over there too.
They are over there.
I think that's the location where the
yeah,
the location.
they're over here. They're over here.
They're fine.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm patting you guys on the head.
But of course, if you want to talk to us during the week about anything, any stories that we've talked about, or things you think we might like to talk about later on in the week, you can always hit us up on Twitter. I'm at Josh Knight First.
I'm at MarsGirl.
I'm at CosmeticQT88.
All right.
And that having been said, that's been tonight's episode of Beyond the Black Rooms. We'll see you guys again next show.
All right, good night.
Bye-bye.